welcome to episode 5 of WNBA Digest. I am your host, Jillian, and we are recapping week 5. It is Sunday, June 22nd. Now, today already kicked off an insane amount of games, and there's still a few games left to be played. So if anything crazy happens that we don't recap, apologies in advance. This week, Tuesday, we saw the final Commissioner Cup games be played, and it was a doozy. There was a ton of blown leads. First up, we had Atlanta versus New York. Now, Atlanta would get out to a big lead, and it would seem like they might have secured their spot. However, they ended up losing, and New York's win over them would eliminate them out of the Commissioner's Cup. And although New York won, because Indiana, as we said last week, had a better record and also won, Indiana would go on to secure the East Conference standing spot for the Commissioner's Cup. Now, over in the West, Las Vegas and Minnesota were also playing, and it would seem like Las Vegas might be able to pull out a win and an upset and thwart Minnesota's chances of going to the Commissioner's Cup. But Minnesota made a comeback and secured their spot as the Commissioner Cup winner on the West. And the final blown lead, Chicago versus DC. Now, both of these teams had already been eliminated, but it mattered to me because I was there. I was at the game, and Chicago would get out to a 15-point lead after the first quarter. And I was so excited I even texted my friend that I was good luck because I thought surely they were winning because of me. Rookie mistake. Chicago would go on to lose that game, and this is me smiling through the pain as I realized my mistake. But the game wasn't all bad. I got to sit pretty close to Allie Quigley and her and Courtney Vandersloot's baby. Now let's take a look at the final Commissioner's Cup standings. As we said, Indiana and Minnesota will be the two teams facing off, and they will face off on July 1st in the Commissioner's Cup, and we will have a recap of that in the coming weeks. Now, Tuesday was also crazy because the white girls were fighting.
They're both going at it, saying, hey, oh, there's a little extra.
Now, as I said, Connecticut, Indiana, they faced off, and they will be playing their final Commissioner's Cup game. And let's just say it was a little wild. Now, I don't have too many thoughts on this. People fight, and people are dirty. But I just think if your team's up double digits and the other team is scoring a layup, there's probably no need to flagrantly foul them.
It's been the biggest issue for Connecticut, just 40 minutes of basketball.
Oh, boy. Sheldon and Cunningham are getting into it.
A bit unnecessary.
These two teams do not like each other.
But speaking of beef, there was a beef this week that was dissolved. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to the WNBA or NCAA, you probably don't know that Arike Ogunbowale and Geno Auriemma have had a long-standing beef. This goes back to before Arike was even in college. When Arike was a high school recruit, she tweeted out her top schools. Geno Auriemma, the coach of UConn, would then go out to tweet this. Definitely a little pettiness from a coach who maybe wanted to secure her and couldn't. Now, Arike would go on to play at Notre Dame, which was one of UConn's, I guess you could say, rivals, as they played in the Big East and would see each other a lot and had a lot of battles. And in 2018, in the tournament, they would have an epic battle. And Arike Ogunbowale would hit a buzzer beater that would send UConn home. Now, it wouldn't be until this year, 2025, that UConn would be in the national championship and win. And who was their leading scorer and MVP? Paige Bueckers, who was drafted #1 and went to the Dallas Wings, where who plays? Arike Ogunbowale. And this week, Geno Auriemma took on a Dallas Wings game, their first home win, actually. And Arike let us know via Twitter that the beef was no longer. But if you are someone that likes negativity, have no fear. Candace Parker also let us know this week that her and Geno still don't like each other.
It's not beef, it's just we don't like each other. We have to be in a place where people understand and respect that.
But it wasn't all negative this week. We also got a ton of reunions and lovey-dovey moments from our girls. Brittany Griner and Natasha Cloud, former Phoenix Mercury players, would reunite when Atlanta and New York played each other.
I'm on my tippy toes to hug you. All right.
Sisters Niara and Satu Sabli, who play for the German national team but aren't in Eurobasket, as we've covered, would also meet up when New York Liberty played the Phoenix Mercury. And Kelsey Plum and Alicia Clark, who used to play on the Aces but now play on the Sparks and the Seattle Storm, would also link up this week. It was also a week of players returning to their former teams. Speaking of Alicia Clark, she would return to Las Vegas, where she had previously won a championship and 6th Woman of the Year. Naturally, she received a video and a warm standing ovation from the crowd. Sid Colson would also return to Vegas, where she would also be greeted with a lovely video, and you could see her hair getting choked up. And if these two didn't get you choked up and have you cutting onions, I think Alyssa Thomas will, because Alyssa Thomas went back to Connecticut for the first time and also received a video on standing O. And I just mean, look at her. I don't care who it is, you get a tribute video and a standing ovation in your old arena, I'm crying with you every time. It also was a reunion of the South Carolina Gamecocks. We had Sanaya Fagan block and Zaya Cook shot. We then had some Gamecocks meet up in Golden State to battle it out. And finally, we had Gamecock A'ja Wilson's reunion with the game of basketball, because A'ja is out of concussion protocol! And I'm excited. There are also some cool things happening off the court. Gatorade announced that they would be coming out with a new flavor specifically for Paige, that's Shirley Temple, and I can't wait to try it as a Shirley Temple girl myself. Angel Reese's new basketball courts in Chicago premiered, and I'm gonna have to get down there because, as I said, I do live in Chicago. And finally, A'ja Wilson dropped an insane amount of new PE colorways that are coming out this summer, which we know won't fit me and which we know I can't afford, but I'm still shipping. Now let's take a look at the standings. It's getting fun. Teams are winning, teams are losing. I want to take a look at the top first. I think in the beginning of the season, it seemed like it was going to be just Minnesota and Liberty, but now that we see the Phoenix Mercury and Atlanta Dream are also competing and playing hard and showing that they can compete with the best of them. And I'm excited to see how that 1 through 4 shapes up for the rest of the season. Meanwhile, 5 through 8 are also battling, and we have some teams that have similar records. Now, I do think if you look at the records, 1 through 9 are going to be the teams that are battling it out for the 8th spots in the playoffs. And I'm just really excited in the coming weeks to see how things move around, teams winning, teams losing, and where everything shakes out. But I'm just glad that we don't have a clear-cut winner now and that these teams can be challenged. And of course, we've reached our last segment. One sentence about each team in the WNBA after week 5. Las Vegas Aces. Well, maybe we should have you play Indiana every day if this is how y'all going up, because 20-1 record is crazy. Atlanta Dream. Tahina Pow Pow appreciation post, but also, I'm gonna need y'all to stop losing leads like this. It's concerning me. Minnesota Lynx. So how does it feel to be atop those standings? Phoenix Mercury. Dubs in the chat! Dubs in the motherfucking chat! Dallas Wings, 2-1 in the Lee Euro era. Keep it up. Good job. Washington Mystics. Some other potential Rookie of the Years have entered the chat. New York Liberty. Jonquel Jones out for 4 to 6 weeks. Hell! Chicago Sky. I'm gonna need y'all to bring back the hot dog stands in Wintrust Arena if you want me to keep coming to games. For me. Indiana Fever. Keep your hands to yourself. Los Angeles Sparks. Are y'all tanking and you haven't told us yet? Is that what's happening? Seattle Storm. Keep it up. Connecticut Sun. JC Sheldon appreciation post. Golden State Valkyries. Y'all took care of business on Juneteenth, and I appreciate you for that. And that has been another episode of WNBA Digest. Check us out next week when we recap week 6.